I love a good quote. And I remember one of the ones that hit me a while ago, right at the start of my journey, was when I read along the lines of, and don't quote me word for word, but the past is in the past, it can't be changed. We can't predict the future, all that exists is now. And when I read this quote, I'm a massive believer of everything happens for a reason anyway. So I believe that when I read that quote, that was when I was meant to read it because it hit. Like, it just hit me hard. And I broke it down. So let's break it down now. The past is in the past, it can't be changed. That's the important thing. The past, it's happened. You literally, there's nothing in this world you can do that can change anything that's happened in the past, whether it's losing someone or whether it's making a mistake or making the wrong decision. Done. No matter how much you love it or hate it, it's all done now. You can't change it. So me, like millions upon millions of people in this world, invest a lot of time, energy, mental energy into thinking of scenarios that have already happened in the past. We relive them in our heads. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but 9 times out of 10, especially if you're on sort of the mental instability perspective, it's not a good thought or a good memory. Um, Yet we spend so much time thinking about it over and over and over again. And I hope you're watching this now going, yeah, I've done that and I still do that. Still thinking about this, still thinking about that. This happened 3 years ago and it still plays on my mind. Easier said than done. And it takes a lot of work. Trust me, it's not an overnight process. But if you keep on blocking out those thoughts from the past, eventually it'll become a habit and they won't take up as much space in your head. So just understand and recognize the past is in the past. It can't be changed. And from the perspective of if you've made a mistake, big or small, a mistake doesn't define you as a person. So don't beat yourself up about making a mistake. Look, if you've hurt someone, it is what it is. And yeah, not great. But if you never make that mistake again, then so this is why we've got to make mistakes. It's all part of the learning process. You know, we have to learn from our experiences. If you don't learn from your mistakes, then yeah, that's on you. But that's the first part. What's in the past is done. So stop dwelling on it. Easier said than done, but start working on it at the very least. And you can't predict the future. That's another key point. We have, again, this ability to kind of paint a picture of how life's going to pan out. For example, oh yeah, I'm going to hit 30 years old, I'm going to have a house, I'm going to be married, I'm going to have 2 kids, I'm going to have a dog, I'm going to go on 4 holidays a year. I've got news for you. It doesn't always pan out that way. In fact, most of the time it really won't. Once you start putting expectations on things, you're in for a bit of trouble because, you know, if you don't get what you hope for, it's not going to bode well for you. Um, but it's applicable to so many different aspects. Like I remember with my dad, for example, after the loss of my mum, and you know we used to get down for many reasons, but you know, he used to get him down and he'd say, "Look, I'm just really sad that your mum's not going to be around for to meet your first baby, or to attend your wedding, or to meet your wife, or to meet any of the siblings, kids, or any big events that are going to be up and coming over the years." And he was so upset that she was going to miss all that. And my simple response to my dad was, "But what guarantees that you're going to be around for it? What guarantee do we have that I'm going to be around for any big life events that happen with my family or friends? You know, who on earth in this world has a guarantee that we're going to be around for all these big events? How can you say in 5 years' time I'm going to be here and able to witness a birth or anything?" Because the only guarantee we actually have in life is that we're not going to be here forever. One day we're going to go. And there's not one person on this planet that knows when their time is up. And I'm sure a lot of you would have experienced either directly or through other people that you know, is that life can be turned upside down overnight. In one simple minute, your life can be turned upside down. So why are we living on a premise of trying to predict the future? I mean, that hit me. I was trying to make all these things for the future, and it's a head fog. Like, excuse my language, but it's a grey day head fog. And the minute things don't fall into place, you're only going one way. So from a mental perspective, it's not good. So stop trying to predict the future. None of us have a guarantee that we're going to be here for anything that you try and predict the outcome of. So what exists now? Present day. So why aren't we living for the present moment? The present moment, which is all that exists. So whilst we have this incredible gift of life, and it is, and I'm a massive life lover. We've got an incredible gift of life, and we waste so much of it either thinking of things that have already happened and can't be changed, or thinking about things that we hope will happen in the future, but we're not living for now. And when I read this way back when, I was like, in my head, I'm saying, what a dick. All this time you've wasted, like thinking either stuff of the past or thinking of stuff in the future that might not happen. And I just forgot about the present day. And that was it. After hitting that realisation a couple of years ago, that was it. I was travelling as much as I can. And obviously I've got a full-time job, so it's not so easy to just pack up bags and start travelling. But I think on the first year I went away like 15 times, 20 times. I had the most mega life, and I still have the most mega life because I still get to travel and I still get to do different things that I've never done before, obviously within moderation. So once you start realising that all that exists is present day, you can start shifting that mindset and start also almost appreciating just how incredible life is to have it. I mean, from my personal excuse me, my personal situation, look, I'm healthier than I've ever been in my life. At nearly 36-year-old, I'm the healthiest I've ever been. Physically, I'm in the best shape I've ever been. I've got everything I could possibly need in my life. And I'm not superficial, so I don't need nice cars and nice clothes and everything. I have everything I need to live a happy, content life. Everything else is a bonus. And that is part of the reason why I wake up every single day. And I'm already on a high. Thankful for waking up. I'm thankful for everything in my life, and that just sets a standard every single day. And yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm not naive to think that it's possible to live every day like it's your last. But you can definitely make the most of every day, even if it's a standard work day, because you can smile to every colleague that you work with, or you can do a random act of kindness for someone you like in work. You can laugh, you can joke, you can be the reason to make someone smile that day. And that, to me, anyway, is still living life, because you're doing good, it feels good, and it's like riding that constant high of life. So it doesn't always have to be like, I've got to go on holiday, I've got to jump out of a plane, and I've got to bungee jump, get these adrenaline hits. It can be anything that brings you joy, is how I see it. So if you telling a joke to a colleague in work and them laughing gives you joy, that's living to the fullest for me anyway. And that's my perception, and that works for me. So if you try it, I really do wish it hopes for you, or it works for you. And I think the other important thing to note of is, in terms of living life to the full and live every day like it's your last, I mean, how often have you heard a situation where someone unfortunately has been diagnosed with an illness and a terminal illness, and it's kicked that person or the loved ones around them, it's kicked them up the backside to start living their life, and then all of a sudden they start living the best life? In fact, the perfect situation was when my mum got diagnosed, and at the time I think she was 60. My dad, a couple of years older, and they've spent all their years literally from such a young age working, saving money, and all they did was save to have money to leave us for when the time comes when they're gone. And there's myself, I've got 3 brothers, 1 sister. I'm the youngest at nearly 36, and we're all lucky to be financially stable. And parents sat us down and said, look, we've got this terminal diagnosis. We don't know how long we have, but we know we have up to maybe 5.5 years if we are in that small percentage of lucky people. Would you mind if we use this money to go and travel the world and make all of our dreams come true? And obviously not one of us had an issue with this, and we all encouraged it. And in maybe a 3-4 year period, my mum and dad lived the most ridiculously mega life that they could possibly live. Like, they lived their best lives, and they travelled the world, all the countries that they wanted to see, everything they wanted to do, and it was incredible. And not only was it incredible, it was inspiring, and I just had that realisation at 26, 27. In fact, no, it was much younger, early 20s, of I don't want to be waiting until I'm 60 to start living my life. And it was as simple as that. So it's, a lot of people say live every day like it's your last, and it's great if you can just go, done, today might be my last day, I'm going to go and live my best life. But goes back to that, just try and be 1% better than you were yesterday. So just do one thing that brings you joy every day, and slowly but surely you'll see you'll start moving in the right direction. And the more joy that you put into your life, the more happiness it'll bring. The more happiness you have, you'll just have this overwhelming contentment, and you will just love every single day. So I literally just like, I go to bed, even if I'm going to work the next morning, I go to bed, I'm excited for the next day. Like, life is incredible. So that was a game changer. The past is in the past. You can't change what's happened. We can't predict the future. All that exists is now, so live for the now. So this is something that worked for me, reading this quote and absorbing it. And it's not going to work for everyone, but if I can get benefit from it, then I'd like to think anyone can. Thanks for watching.